He usually gets on a different computer back there. Okay, we're recording. So we are in the last few days of July. I decided instead of just opening it with lots and lots of, that's fine. I decided instead of doing a lot of announcements, I have not had a chance to watch the video we're about to watch, but the topic and the person were interesting to me, so I'm excited about it. And I decided I would let Genevieve, because she usually opens up with a lot of announcements, don't forget the and rather than double talking it, basically me saying it and her saying it, I'll see if she leaves anything out that I think needs to be added to it. Right now, we're about to end up the 12 days that we've been doing that is sort of just a back to the basics. That's just basically taking you through the worksheet that we looked at last week. I have now pinned at the top of my team page last week's video because it's in a thing that says, if you're new, start here. And underneath that, I just put last week's video that goes through the basics of using the worksheet that is also pinned in that, or that is also in a comment. Basically, the worksheet is in a comment where you can access the worksheet, and trying to think what else there was. How to use stories, kind of a basic thing. Told a few little things about things for new ambassadors. And I just feel basically, I went a long time in this business with let people slip through the cracks. When I say a long time, I mean up until last week, like 8 years and some change or something like that, of not really having a great thing that basically is the first thing that you look at when you get planted in my team page that makes you go, oh, this is where I start. And it's immediately a video of giving them simplistic instructions. And so I wanted to highlight that again this week because of the simplicity of it, because of the fact that business is booming stronger right now than it was when it was booming for me before. And that tells me the possibility for people to slip through the cracks could be by and large, and I don't want that to be true. And secondly, the fact that business is booming so strong right now, it's a different season. It's not like the first time, because the first time I felt like and taught people to be experts. You don't have to be an expert to work this business anymore. You don't have to be a gut health expert, and you don't have to be so persuasive with all your information. Getting people to understand that you really do know what you're talking about, because the television quit arguing with us about gut health. Praise be, right? And so since people are familiar with it, they're familiar with they should be taking a probiotic and that they should be taking vitamins, and we're in the middle of what they're calling a pandemic, and it's even being highlighted all the more that people should be taking care of their bodies and doing all the things. So that being said, it's a very different season. I'm not even suggesting that people be experts. It's great if you are already in that category and you've already done all that work. That way you can spout off answers when people need them, but you don't have to make everybody feel like they need a PhD in fungus before they can actually start. You leaving? Come on, Herb. 1 second. Love you, buddy. Be careful. My 20-year-old kid wearing shorts and boots. What else are you carrying? He's carrying around he's got one of those Yetis that's like a gallon. He's carrying that, and he's fixing to leave, and he's telling his dog to come on. So you really are wearing shorts and boots. It's a good look. Love you too, buddy. Okay. I got lucky raising my kids, y'all. I was crazy when they were kids, little kids. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. I said in a comment the other day that I can't even say hello effectively oh, I know, my cousin, she feels like an aunt. My cousin said something about, she stated something that she believes, and then she said, and I'll just wait for you to give me your TED talk, basically, if you disagree with her about something. And she wasn't talking to me. This was a post on her wall. She knows I agree with her on the stuff she's talking about the virus and she's a brilliant mathematician, and she was given statistics and all. And she's like, so I'll wait on your TED talk. And I was like, I would happily do a TED talk, except for those are only 20 minutes and I can barely even say hello in less than 8. And that's what I just did. So hello. And now we're going to watch the video together. Okie dokie. I have the transcript up and everything. So hopefully, and Genevieve is about to join us on the video. Here we go.
For those of you that are brand new, I just want you to know who I am. My name is Genevieve Scory. I'm the Senior Director of Global Ambassador Training. It is my privilege to help every one of you figure out how to share Plexus along with your uplines in a scalable and fun way. We all want fun. I think we all want fun, but an effective, scalable, and systematic way. And so I get the honor of working with some of the most amazing men and women in our field, men and women who started just where you are. If you're brand new, everybody starts right where you are. Everyone. Like, nobody gets to skip over the steps. Everyone starts right where you are. And so Aubrey was on one of our other calls, and she was just going down this path of like goodness and coaching. And we were like, stop the butt, stop. We need to gather all this information up and put it in its own call. So Aubrey, being the fantastic diamond servant leader that she is, was like, okay, I will come back and I will tell all the things. And so we're so excited to have Aubrey here. For those of you that are brand new, we want you to take out your phones and we want you to text train me to Plexus. So take out your phone and just text the numbers 753987. You're going to type that in, 753987, and type in there, train me. When you do that, you will get all of the call reminders as well as all of the recordings sent right to your phone. Now, why do you want that? It's not so that you can be on every call. There are calls that you're going to be on, and there are going to be other calls that you promote to your new team members. Everybody likes to feel supported and part of a community. And so this is something that will help you when you bring in those 20, 25, 30, hundreds of people when you get to where Aubrey is. We also want you to know that when you enroll in the call, you will get all of the webinar recordings. So if you don't do Train Me, you can get all of the recordings by signing in for the Zoom call. There's also a calendar in the back office that has all of the recordings on it. So we love to share the recordings with you. One last thing I want you to know is August 3rd, we are having a Triplex unboxing event. Crazy. Like, this is just honestly and truly, I've seen.
In case you if your brain wandered away or anything, this unboxing event is going to be a huge deal. And I haven't highlighted it enough on Zoom calls, but I want you to pay attention to what she's about to say, even though I don't know what she's about to say. And if she doesn't cover anything, I'll touch on it some more.
Seen the stuff, y'all. I've seen the stuff. It's going to be huge. Please register for that. That will be in lieu of our team huddle on August 3rd, or our community huddle. You're going to get on. It's like an hour and a half. You're going to be excited. Yes, Canada, you can join the call as well. It is a US-based call, but you are 100%. Get on that call for sure. For sure. Okay, so without any further ado, Aubrey, I'm just going to turn the call over to you, and then I'll check back in once you give them all the scoop. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I am so excited. Genevieve makes it sound like I'm doing them a favor by doing this call, but man, this is what I love to do. So this is kind of selfish for me because this makes me happy, but I hope that it will also give you some really good information. My dad taught me a long time ago that people don't have a lot of time, and if they give you their time, then you need to make the most of it and provide value. So today we're going to talk about not being afraid to share. But first, we got to talk a little bit about my journey, and I have a question for you. I love quotes. How many of you love quotes? If you love quotes, put a 1 in the comments or just say yes or yay or something just so I can see you're there. And here is one of my favorite quotes from C.S. Lewis. Friendship is born at the moment when one person says to another, "What? You too?" I thought I was the only one. And Genevieve was so amazing. She didn't even know it, but she kept dropping little teasers and little nuggets of everything I'm going to talk about tonight. And one of the things she mentioned was that we are a family. We're a community, and you're not alone here. So if you don't get anything else from this call, I want you to know that one of the biggest perks, probably the most important perk of being a Plexus ambassador, is that you have a community of people like you that understand where you've been and can show you where you're going, and that we are all in this together, and that everybody from corporate down loves you and cares about you and is glad that we're here together. So, like most of you, my journey started from a post on Facebook. But it was this crazy, goofy looking guy in the picture there going like, that saw the post and wanted to try Plexus for weight loss. He is a youth pastor and he likes to eat, and he really wanted a way to eat cheeseburgers and pizza all the time and stay skinny. Okay, so he sent me an email from across the living room saying, "I want to try this Plexus stuff." I said, "You don't need this junk. These things are always a scam. Go eat an apple and have self-control." Long story short, I ended up agreeing to sign him up as an ambassador only for the wholesale discount. That's what we all say, right? Because I was a professional, a CPA, certified public accountant or certified professional accountant, and I didn't want anything to do with that scammy network marketing stuff. But he needed to quit drinking Monster Energy drinks, and placebos tend to work on him, so I was like, whatever, you try it. Obviously, that changed. I skeptically tried the products and quickly noticed major differences. Before Plexus, I was addicted to Diet Coke, drinking 6 cans a day. My stomach always felt puffy and yucky. Trying on clothes made me super depressed and want to cry. I was tired, cranky, and I just felt lost. I had identified myself as a CPA and then a wife, then as a youth minister's wife. But after my second kid, I wasn't able to do a lot of those things, and I just really needed some purpose, and I needed something to do and feel good about. Plexus changed everything for me. I haven't touched a Diet Coke in 5 years, 5.5 now. My mom doesn't either, which is super exciting when you can help your parents be healthier. I don't toss and turn for hours before going to sleep. My stomach doesn't keep me from living my life. I can walk in my closet and put on clothes and not want to cry. I'm more patient and caring, and I've grown into a much better version of myself. I love seeing some of you guys saying the same things too. I discovered a passion for helping women see how incredible God designed them to be and to use their unique gifts to create financial freedom for themselves and bless others. Speaking of financial freedom, I have been able to replace my full-time CPA income from this. Amazing. I've been able to pay for family trips, take my mom to a fancy gala. That's the picture there of us in the fancy clothes. Note though, my blue dress was from Ross for like $16 or $18. Love a good deal. Drive a gorgeous Lexus and so much more. But most importantly, I've been able to work from home around my crazy husband's schedule as a youth pastor and around my autistic daughter's special needs. So, but that's enough about me. You logged on for motivation, and if you're like me and my team, you need motivation to share because it's hard to share. So here we go. Think of someone that you want to reach out to and pick up the phone and dial them or text them and just go for it right now. I'll wait here while you call them. Give you like 5 minutes. I'm just kidding. Stop. Don't actually call them right now because you need to keep listening. But I'm guessing that some of you might have just had a little heart attack. It's not as easy as saying, let's go call people. Let's share. Our minds get in the way. What stops us? Fear. All right, see if this sounds familiar. We're going to focus on a couple of things. I like to be cutesy, so we have stop, drop, and roll. But we're going to start with the stop. I'm going to tell you a little story. I have a good friend. She's real. This is a real story, named Jessica. Everyone loves Jessica. She has an incredible social media following that she's doing absolutely nothing with. It's very sad to me, and is truly the life of every party. She's smart and funny and puts her all into everything she does. She's one of those people, y'all, that sends the singing Christmas cards and is just super adorable and just the cutest ever. She would be perfect at this, except she's probably too busy. Yeah, I think she's too busy. And she's got 2 kids in college, so she's too broke. And I haven't talked to her on the phone in over a year, so if I messaged her about Plexus, she would definitely be annoyed and think that I'm just trying to sell her something, so I better not message her. What I just did there was called red lighting. Genevieve was talking about this. We create stories in our heads of what we think is going to happen. So what did I do there? I created a red light story of what Jessica was going to say and how Jessica was going to feel before I even asked her. Guess who never had a choice in the matter? Jessica. I just decided, I created a story in my head of what I thought was going to happen. But here's something really, really exciting, okay, y'all? You control the stories in your head. You are in control of that. I'm not allowed to get into a Bible study here, but I am a pastor's wife, so, I talk about the Bible sometimes. But I can guarantee you that between Bible verses and quotes and anywhere you look, I'm confident that you can be in control of your mind. It is possible, and it's crucial. You have to be in control of your mind. You need to be in control of the stories you create. So if I get to be in control of the stories I create, why wouldn't I make good stories? It's not going to hurt me to make a good story. So instead of creating a negative story, I need to notice when I'm red lighting out of fear, and then I need to create a green light story. So here's the same story, green lit. What if I told myself that Jessica is busy, so she needs healthy meal options and clean energy so she can teach those little precious babies in elementary music class. And she has 2 kids in college, so she needs to know that she can leverage her social media presence and her incredible reputation to make extra money while helping people because she loves people. And Jessica knows me and she loves me and she knows I have a good heart. So even if she's not interested, she will be grateful that I thought of her. I have to reach out to her. See the difference there? You can do that with everything. And if you've been used to red lighting things, it's going to be hard to make that change, but hard is good. Growth happens outside of your comfort zone. So some of the things that fear makes us think, obviously, is that people will think bad things about me. What will people think about me? And we obviously make a red light story that they will think we're pushy. I saw some of those in the comments. They'll think we're pushy. They'll think we're one of those annoying, crazy Plexus people. Well, I'm crazy already. So, I'm just like, well, if you think I'm the crazy Plexus lady, you already thought I was crazy. So that's not much different. But what will people think of me? Will people think I'm annoying? Will they run away from me? Are they going to be scared of me? We can red light all those stories, but the truth of the matter is, unless you are actually speaking to them and they say, oh my goodness, you are so annoying, then you can't know that you're going to be annoying them. And usually, I mean, I may have had that happen once or twice, but usually it's about them and not me. So literally, if I red light and I say that, it's not true. In my 5.5 years with Plexus, I have had a lot of people tell me that they don't have anyone to talk to about Plexus, that they don't know anyone that would be interested. Not true. Everyone knows someone that could benefit from our products. And I'll prove it. All right, drop a 1 in the comment if you know someone that has a gut. Oh wait, yeah, you might have to think about them. Drop a 1 in the comment if you know someone that has skin. So guess what? You all know somebody that needs Plexus. So why do we think we don't have anyone to talk to? We're afraid. Here's another story. This one's fun. Let's pretend we're at the mall before COVID, when we were actually allowed to go to the mall. I miss going to the mall. You're walking with your friend in the mall, and they say, man, I'm thirsty. Well, you have a Dasani water bottle in your handbag. Now, it's called a handbag. My friend Vicki tells me because she used to work at Macy's, and there's no purse department. So it's not a purse, it's a handbag. And you have a water bottle, a Dasani, in your bag, okay? Walking through the mall, and they say they're thirsty. But you don't offer it to your friend because you're not sure if they drink Dasani. What if they only drink Nestle Pure? Or what if they only drink Sam's Choice? I mean, I would think nobody would only drink Sam's Choice, but maybe they do. And so what if you offer it to them and they think, oh my goodness, you drink Dasani? How could you drink Dasani? I only drink Nestle Pure. And then you go cry in the bathroom because it hurts your feelings and you're sad. That's ridiculous. If you had a water bottle and you hadn't drank out of it and given it germs, and your friend needed water, you would offer it to them. You wouldn't worry if it was the right brand of water. If they had a need and you could help them, you would offer it to them. And if they didn't want it, you wouldn't cry and go hide in the bathroom forever and worry about how your friendship was ruined and you had been too pushy about your water. You would just say, okay, and then you'd probably drink it. Here's something cool about fear that really rocked my world. When I heard this, I was kind of like, uh-oh, we're not quite to shame yet, but we'll get there in a minute. Not telling your friends about Plexus because you were afraid is selfish. Whoa, wait, you just said that my fear means I'm selfish? I'm not selfish. I just don't want people to think I'm pushy. Genevieve talked about people are praying for you. Well, she said, yeah, she did say that. I'm allowed to say that. Yes, people are praying for you. People are praying for help. And if you have something that can help them and you don't share, you are being a blessing blocker. Nobody wants to be a selfish blessing blocker. When you're focused on yourself and what people will think of you and you're not sharing, you're being a blessing blocker. So don't be a blessing blocker. One other thing about fear real quick. Sometimes fear can be good. We actually have fear to instigate a fight or flight response when we are in actual imminent danger. But guess what? In today's society, we're not typically in actual imminent danger. Guess what we're in danger of? Negative emotions. So many times I find myself freaking out about things and all I'm afraid of is a negative emotion. I am worried that somebody's going to be mad at me. I am worried somebody's going to make me feel, what's the word? I just lost it. Embarrassed. I'm worried about having a negative emotion. But guess what? A negative emotion can't kill you. I guess if it gave you a heart attack, it possibly could. My son thinks that the negative emotion of not getting what he wants could give him a heart attack and kill him. But if you're not a crazy 9-year-old boy, a negative emotion is not going to kill you. So what could you do if you weren't afraid of a negative emotion? And if you pushed through it because you realized the worst that could happen is a negative emotion, and emotions fade quickly. then move on. All right, now we're moving on to shame. The second step, stop the fear, drop the shame. Shame holds us back from sharing. And if I could go back to the beginning of my Plexus experience and tell myself one thing, I'd say, self, don't be ashamed of Plexus. I came to Plexus with zero network marketing experience. Nothing. I was a CPA, certified public accountant, business person, completely different than network marketing and sales. But I did know one thing about network marketing. I knew that most people thought it was a scam, and I did too. And so even though I joined and started loving the products and started being kind of interested in the business, I was still ashamed to share. And I missed so many opportunities to share about what this business has to offer because I was ashamed. And I want you to know that you do not need to be ashamed. All professions have good and bad people making good and bad choices. I said I was a CPA. There are plenty of good CPAs and plenty of infamous ones. You've probably all heard of Enron, unless you're way too young, and then maybe you haven't heard of Enron. But my point is, you can't just say all CPAs are bad because the Enron CPAs were bad. You can't say all lawyers are bad. I have a precious lawyer on my team, and she's an amazing person and one of the most ethical, godly people I've ever met in my life. But there's also some pretty crazy lawyers. Oh, you worked for Anderson, Trent, Enron. Yes. So does that make you ashamed to be, working for them? If you didn't do anything wrong, it shouldn't. You didn't do anything wrong. That doesn't mean all CPAs are bad. So you can believe me. I know that not all of you know the execs and the corporate leadership team, yada, yada, yada. I mean, you see Genevieve and she's amazing and you know you love her. But I just want you to know that Plexus is doing network marketing the way network marketing should be done and could be done, but rarely is. Our company has integrity. Our leaders have integrity and truly care about us. We have a comp plan that rewards individual effort and encourages everyone to work hard together. Our company is a legacy company that will continue changing lives for years to come. Y'all, I have eaten dinner across the table from Alec Clark. I was supposed to eat dinner with Tarl before crazy COVID. So I have talked to them. I have seen them grow in the 5.5 years I've been with Plexus. And I have seen nothing that makes me one teeny iota percent doubt their leadership and their integrity. You can trust our company and you have nothing to be ashamed of. In the beginning, y'all, I thought Plexus was a scam, but I was completely wrong. I'm a better person today because of my association with network marketing. And if you are part of a network marketing company in the network marketing industry and you become successful, you will become a better person too, because it's not possible to not grow as a person and be successful in this industry. You have to create the way that you become a person of influence is by adding value to people. And you add value to people and their lives get better and yours gets better. So you will grow and become a more valuable person to yourself and others as a part of this industry. Okay, so stop the fear, drop the shame, and roll with the nose, okay? So now, one more thing I want to tell you. Sometimes, and I saw this in the chat a lot before when Genevieve was asking you about what you were scared of, no's. You're scared people are going to say no. And you know what? They are. It's inevitable. In fact, the reason I'm a diamond is because I've heard no more times than you have. I heard that from a diamond 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and it's so true. I've heard no more than you. And guess what? I am an Enneagram 3 achiever, wing 2, people pleaser. So I want to achieve all the things and I want everyone to like me all the time. That's not possible. I mean, everybody didn't even like Jesus. So I know not everybody can like me. So I really struggled with this in the beginning. I was terrified of no because I took it personally, like it was my fault. Okay? But guess what? Most of the time, almost all of the time, no is not about you. Here's a really good illustration, okay? What's your favorite restaurant? Think about your favorite restaurant. Think about your favorite meal from your favorite restaurant. Yeah, mine's Olive Garden. Back when they used to sell pizzas instead of just all the fruit stuff. I just really like fancy pizza. So let's say Olive Garden calls me and offers me a free meal and says, you want a free meal, complete with dessert, chocolate lasagna, and they want to confirm my address so they can bring it to me. I'm super excited, right? Well, wait. Ooh, wrong page. But it's November 28th. And I just had a huge Thanksgiving meal with my grandma. My grandma made rolls, homemade rolls, and had a ham and had a turkey and had all the vegetables and had all the pies. And I am stuffed. I'm going to have to say no to that meal, to the free meal from Olive Garden, because I have no more space in my belly until like next week. Does that have anything to do with Olive Garden? No, it has nothing to do with Olive Garden, because you see, Genevieve said the people you're looking for are looking for you because they are hungry. You are looking for people who are hungry. If they are not hungry, it doesn't matter what you can say. If they are hungry, it doesn't matter what you say either, because they want it and they're ready. And you don't have to be perfect. I'm running out of time, but I got to tell you one more little story that I use with my church peeps. So let's say that someone comes to you and says, Susie, will you please explain the genealogy of Melchizedek and who wrote the book of Hebrews? And you look at them like, are you speaking English or Greek? Melchizedek, what? Do you feel bad that you believe in Christ, but you can't explain the genealogy of Melchizedek or know for sure who wrote the book of Hebrews? Theologians can't decide who wrote the book of Hebrews. So you don't feel bad, right? You say, you know what? I don't know. But my friend Aubrey's husband, Jeremy, is super smart and teaches about that all the time. I will go ask him. You don't feel bad at all. You don't have to know everything. And guess what? Plexus has made it so simple. I don't want any of you to worry about not knowing what to do or what to say, because Plexus will say it for you. 5 years ago, we didn't have all these tools. We said all kinds of crazy stuff. And sometimes I still say crazy stuff because I get distracted and I'm just crazy. But we have tools in the back office. We have videos. I don't explain Slim anymore, ever. I say, oh, it's this awesome pink drink. Here's a video. I don't explain MetaBurn. Oh, it's this awesome fat burner. Here's a video. I use the third-party tools. You don't have to be the expert. And guess what? When you aren't having to be the expert, people will start saying, wow, this is super easy. I could do this too. So stop being the expert. You're not the expert. You're going to mess up if you're trying to be the expert. The only way you're going to be awesome is if you're not trying to be awesome. You're just trying to use the tools that we have and not stressing about it. Because you don't need to know all the answers. I don't know all the tax law. I know how to Google. That's plenty. People pay me to do tax returns. Not anymore, but they did. And I didn't know all the laws, but I knew how to Google. And you know how to search your back office, or you can get somebody to teach you how to search your back office. So, yes, and somebody said something about they don't know how to find the people that are hungry. Well, guess what? You're just going to have to ask a lot of people, because some of them aren't going to be hungry. And you're going to have to be okay with knowing that statistically, if you ask 10 people, maybe 2 will be interested. That's okay. You just keep asking, because I promise you there are tons of people on the planet that need what we have. And if you keep asking, you are going to find them. Guess how you won't find them? If you stop asking. Y'all, I was in McKinney, Texas, where there are lots of diamonds, and that's where Celeste is, and a ton of her diamonds. And I met like 3 people while I was in McKinney, Texas, that had never tried Plexus. 3 people in McKinney, Texas, where Celeste land is. So y'all, if I can do that, you can find people anywhere. Okay, so don't let that lie stop you. All right, so my summary here, because I get a little off on tangents. Number 1, you are among friends. You are not alone. So many people in this world right now are feeling alone, and you are so blessed to be a part of Plexus, because we're a community and we're a family. I don't feel lonely at all because I have friends talking to me and I'm on Zoom with people all the time right now. And I love that. Number 2, fear is a selfish blessing blocker. If you won't stop the fear for yourself, stop it for the people that you need to bless. Or maybe for both of you. Number 3, you have nothing to be ashamed of. If you feel ashamed to share about Plexus, then you need to build your belief. You need to listen to more stories. You need to get to know more people. And you just need to learn more about the network marketing industry because it's an incredible industry. And when done right, which we do, it's something to be very proud of and something that can change the world. And number 4, people are going to say no. Embrace the no's. I still don't love them, but I love that hearing the no's helps me move on to the people that I can help. And guess what? Most of my no's have ended up changing their mind eventually. You stay with it long enough, almost everybody will give it a chance in the long run. So, last slide. About 10 years ago, I can't believe that it's been 10 years ago. I'm super old, but luckily Joyum keeps me looking young. You know, I mean, you wouldn't believe I was 80, right? Just kidding. About 10 years ago, I took a class with my husband on conflict management. I loved it. I would take classes all day long if I could, but people don't pay me to take classes. It was a class on conflict management, and I learned that sermons, lessons, don't change behavior. They simply reinforce what people already believe. But guess what does change behavior? Actions. So you've been looking at this the whole time I've been chatting, for the last minute. So we have some actions. I want you to screenshot this, write it down. I don't care. I want you to do these 3 actions. They're kind of scary. That's the point. I tell my team, growth happens in the puke zone, because in your comfort zone, you feel nice and comfy. But when you get out of your comfort zone, sometimes you feel like you want to puke. So if you're feeling like you want to puke and you're not riding a roller coaster, then you're probably in the growth zone. So I want you to come up with 3 people that you are afraid to message. And I want you to think through why you're afraid. And I want you to recreate that story. Okay? And success doesn't mean that they say yes right away. Success just means that you quit letting your fear stop you from reaching out to them. Step 2, do a live video on 3 reasons you love network marketing. I know when you saw a live video right there, some of you probably, well, you're probably not listening to me anymore. So I'm not talking to you. But those of you that didn't close your computer and give up, live videos are scary, but guess what? They're the best way to help someone know, love, and trust you. When you're listening to me, you can tell that I'm a happy person. I'm super bubbly and energetic. Can't tell that I'm 4'10", but I am 4'10". So, but do a live video. If you hate it, you can always delete it at the end, and only the 4 people that watched it would have seen it, and it's okay. But 3 reasons you love network marketing. If you don't have 3 reasons, then I want you to research that, because there are reasons. And then the last one, I want you to send this sample message to 7 people. And I picked 7 because 7 is one of my favorite numbers, and it's the number of perfection in the Bible. So let's be perfect here and send our 7 messages. So I hope that was helpful. I tried to leave time for questions, but I'm really not good at that.
We're going to ask them anyway. So I love it. Thank you, Aubrey. Thank you so much. This was fantastic. And so I want to just talk about a couple things before we actually ask some questions. And I want to talk about this so that you all feel empowered once and for all to not care about the whole oh, it's network marketing, it's a scam. Okay? Here are some things I want you to know. First of all, we had a book club this weekend where the founders of this company paid a nice sum of money, I must say, to bring an author of a book to all of you to just simply improve yourselves. What kind of company does that? Seriously, that cannot be a company that is trying to scam people. That is a company with people, run by people who have a lot of heart. The second thing is I want you to also know that at Plexus, we have a whole compliance department. And I mean like a gaggle of people who their job all day, every day is to ensure that what we are saying and what we are doing meets every regulatory agency's expectations. And if you've ever been called by them, and some of you have, you know their desire is to help us maintain a really great relationship with the public and to ensure that we are talking in a way and representing this company in a way that is totally on the up and up. And sometimes people get overly excited and they share things that we're like, hey, time out. You can't say that about our products. Or, hey, time out. You can't say that about our opportunity because it is perceived as scammy or unethical or what have you. And most of us are like, yeah, but it's true. And they're like, no, you can't. So you can, in every way, have confidence that Plexus is working as diligently as possible to ensure that we are doing things the way it could be done and should be done, but rarely is done, as Aubrey mentioned. So Aubrey, I'm just curious, do you have kind of an answer for people that are like, is this network marketing? What is your kind of go-to thing that you say about that?
I do. I say it is. I just say, yeah, it's direct sales. I love it.
Okay.
And actually, usually what I say is that if we get the conversation, I talk about that it's a lot more than what they would expect, and that it's really more about people development and leadership and training than it is sales on my side of it. But I just, honestly, I don't have people say things like that very often. I just say yes, because I don't have anything to hide about it. It is network marketing.
Yeah. And somebody's saying, is this a pyramid scheme? You guys, don't run away from that question. Ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
Say, honestly and truly say, what do you mean? Those are actually illegal.
Yeah, I was going to say that exact thing. That's what I say. I say, no, because that's illegal. We have a lawyer on our team. Pretty sure she wouldn't be doing something illegal.
Yeah. So it's okay to say, what do you mean? But also what I want you to know is that a couple key things that Aubrey said is, hey, you don't have to explain everything. As a matter of fact, it works better when you don't. Learn to use the tools. Some of y'all are spending way too much time explaining things. And then when someone says no, you take it personally. If I sent you a video and then I asked you, what were your thoughts about what you saw? What were your thoughts? What resonated? I love that Aubrey's like, I don't explain Slim. I don't explain Active. I don't explain MetaBurn. I'm like, here's a video. It'll tell you everything you need to know. Aubrey, go ahead.
They're asking me what videos I use, and I'll tell you that I use the long versions, and I usually say something goofy like, don't worry that it says long. It's only 90 seconds. But I really like, the ones I use over and over again are the slim long version, and it's like a minute 47, I think. And then I think it's the one that's linked on our Engage app now. And I use the triplex long version. And then if they need to know about, what products to put with it and they're not going with triplex, I use the MetaBurn video and the Active video and the Balance video. I don't usually send lean because the protein shake is they usually don't have questions about a protein shake, but if they do, I'll send that. I try to keep the videos down so I'm not sending like 5 videos. But I usually start with the slim video and then say, so we sell it in a bundle. It basically comes free with 2 extra products, because if you look at it, it gets close to that price. And, with 2 free products, and I just ask them some questions about that, but then I send those videos. I don't explain products ever anymore, ever.
Yeah. Does that make sense? Is everybody picking up what she's laying down? Because that's another thing, is that honestly and truthfully, it scales. So if you have to have a half an hour conversation with every new person every single day, right? It is just much simpler to just simply say, here's a video. Like, listen, and you're going to follow up and talk to them. It's not like you're excluded from the conversation, but this is the part that you're going to do naturally because you're just going to be you.
And I don't use Dr. Logan's as the first video.
Thank you.
Because it's like 3 minutes.
And it's very sciencey, y'all.
Mhm.
You have to start with the excitement first and then follow up with the information. Some of y'all are doing the right things, just in the wrong orders, right? But she's the diamond and she's telling you, I don't lead with that video. So she said it, I'm just saying.
I actually tell my team that they can talk people out of it if they say too much. And so, which is really funny. Y'all see that I talk all the time. So this is something I've really had to learn. I joke that people are still reading the first messages I sent about Plexus, like from 5 years ago, because they were so long. But I just say, I say they're already interested. Don't give them any more than you have to. Give them just enough to see if they're still interested, and then let them try it.
Yeah. Can we go back one slide? Because I do want to dissect. No, one more, sorry. I do want to dissect this message because this is such a good message. And there are pieces of this I want to ensure you understand why it works. The first thing is the part about it may or may not be for you. Right?
I got that from you. Super Saturday 2 years ago.
Learn to let people off the hook, right? People like run when they feel like they're being cornered. Your job is not to sell people Plexus. Your job is to take them on a journey using tools of self-discovery for themselves. So I have no idea if this is a fit for you. This may or may not be for you. That is the key component there that I want you to know. It works. It works. What other questions do you have? Questions, comments, concerns, or snide remarks? Anybody? Was this
My husband says curses.
Because we don't know, y'all. It's so easy. Can I just tell you something? It's so easy. Like if I were going to call Aubrey, it would be so easy to do this. Aubrey, listen. I don't know if you've ever heard of Plexus before, but like, girl, it has had some great results for me. It may or may not be for you, but why don't you check out this video and decide for yourself? Like, that's basically what's being said here, right? And when you do that, it's like, what? They're not rejecting you when someone goes no, right? And can I ask this question? How many of you, like Aubrey just got done telling you, she said no for like months. Right? Like she got in and still was kind of skeptical. How many of you said no the first time somebody introduced you to Plexus? If you don't mind typing that in the chat. Yeah. So look at this. So how come we always are surprised the first time somebody says no? It's like most people say no first.
Same thing with the business too. I don't know anybody that said yes to the business at first.
So it's all about expectations. So Aubrey, this was so great. I love your authenticity.
It was fun.
I love your authenticity. I really do. And you're like, it might sound crazy because that's just how I am. I just love that.
You're just different. Thank you. It was fun.
But you could see her energy, right, y'all? Like, just be you. And it's totally okay to say things like, I'm so nervous to reach out to you. It's okay to say, I'm afraid of sounding salesy. It's okay to say, I'm not even sure what you're going to think when I'm done, right? You can even say, my friend who's very successful in this business, because now we're all friends with Aubrey, right? Challenge me to reach outside of my comfort zone. And I wanted to, whoop, there you go. Send that message. Send that message. So, Aubrey, you get the last word, my friend.
Oh, I didn't know I got the last word.
You do.
Leaders retreat. It is 100% possible for every single person on this call, because just by getting on here at this random, not so awesome time of day, you have shown me that you have what it takes. So I want every single one of you to be there, because it does make a difference. And Plexus you want to see corporate. When I first saw corporate, it sunk into me that this is a real company. They have real cubicles. So, there you go. Last word, cubicles.
There you go. We're a real company and we don't have cubicles. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
They do have cubicles.
We do. We have cubicles and offices and like snack machines, the whole thing.
They have Slim in the break room, but they don't go to it now because of COVID. So,
Oh my gosh. So we're so thankful that you were all able to get on at this not so awesome time. We love that you made time to invest in yourself and our mission. And Aubrey, I really honestly 100% am so grateful to you and your heart and your energy and your enthusiasm. We love you and we are so blessed to have you on our team. So
thank you. I am blessed.
All right. Good. We'll see y'all later. Bye, everybody.
Okay. So I realized I wasn't watching the chat and nobody's chatting. So I felt it. I knew. I'm just kidding. So any thoughts on anything that she had to say? I'm way behind on Messenger today. I was kind of trying to catch up on, especially because it's the end of the month and I have a few people who are trying to rank up and stuff. Okay, Misty, what's your question? Oh, she may be typing it. I think she's typing it. Okay. So, and if anybody else has any questions too, let's see. I did too. I love the part about the cubicles. I will tell you, this is the most excited I've ever been about a leaders retreat. Yes, more excited than any tropical place we've ever been, because there is something about home office that will just make you be like, wow, especially when you meet the people that work there. And I'm not talking about the people that you would meet that come to events. I'm talking about the people that work there and are there while we are at events. Just really great, excellent people who have a heart for this company, and the way that Tarl runs the company, corporately speaking, the way he treats the employees and how much they love him. It's bizarre to talk to them and get feedback from how much they love working at Plexus. They're like, it's absolutely hands down the best job I've ever had in my life. And these are like newbies, people who, are not making the greatest paycheck there yet. You know what I'm saying? They're like new hires and everybody, they just love it. So, okay, let's see. What video would I send out if I sent out the sample message? Are you talking about the sample message that Genevieve talked about at the end? Okay. Okay. I think she said. I
can read it to you because I took a screenshot of it.
Yeah.
Hey, Jenna. Hope you're doing well. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but I've been using these gut health supplements that I'm crazy about. It may or may not be for you. But if I sent you a video about it, would you have 1 minute to watch and check it out? Like, you have no idea what product they're interested in. So which video would you send with just that message? Okay.
Me personally, I would probably only send that message to someone that I either sort of knew and knew what they might be interested in, or this is just my personal gut reaction to this. But the other thing is if I had seen them posting about something, because that's frequently, if I'm reaching out to somebody instead of them reaching out to me, I'm going in because I know what they're dealing with at that moment. And so, for example, kid with eczema type thing, and I'm going to send them the triplex video, let them give me their feedback, and then just say, then I'm going to follow up. I'm going to send it from my app, and then I'm going to follow up with also adding them to a testimony group of some sort. And for our team, it would be the Beauty Inside and Out group, someplace, and then telling them, use that search bar, look for testimonies, because to me, that's what builds belief in people, is seeing that it's not one instance where somebody got lucky and got rid of their eczema, and it could have been because they swam in a chlorinated pool.
There's not a triplex video in the app. I really wish there were.
That's right. Hang on. Let me see. I'm looking.
There's a short, like 47-second gut health video, but it's not specific to triplex.
What category is it under? Peak interest?
Share.
Okay. Maybe I should put this on Jetty's list of things to make happen, right? Jetty, could you make a memo that it's foolish not to have our best-selling combo, not have a video in our app that has the best-selling combo? Because I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to stop right here and just say that's what I would send if it were in the app. And then that's follow it up with a bunch of pleases. Would you actually just remind me tomorrow, Jetty, and we'll discuss maybe who would make the best route for us to try to start that conversation. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Christia just said it. That's probably what it is. There's probably going to be a new video. It's probably going to be all brand new. Are y'all tricking me? Is this Stump the Dummy? What video would you send?
No, I just really want it in there. I'm ready for all the stuff to be back there.
Okay. Okay, Christia, you win. Okay, that's probably why it is. I'm sure there's going to be a new video because I feel like I'm like locked on what I can and can't say because I don't remember what has already been said to y'all in emails or not. So I will just say this. Anybody who's a fan of the triplex absolutely needs to watch the unboxing video because, you know, if you could put me on the front of the pamphlet with a little bubble that says, "Look, dreams coming true." Okay, that's what the pamphlet should have. Look, Lori's dreams are coming true, right? So I know my team, I haven't even pushed it too hard because I knew my team was going to be like, yay, because we're so triplex focused. And thank you, because I was about to make a fool of myself. Can somebody do something about this? And probably all the diamonds would be like, girl, do you not know what week it is? So, okay.
But you could in the Engage app, in the message that you're sending to your prospect, copy the triplex link from your back office.
From your shareables.
And put it in that message. And that
you can do that, but it doesn't link it doesn't make it, it doesn't affect the app the same way the links directly from the app do. You can put it in there and it'll link to your web page, but it won't give you the ability to see when they opened it or how much they watched of it.
I would imagine that this will be a non-topic by our call next week. I'm not worried about it now that that makes sense. That's probably what the deal is. I'm sure there's already one that's been made and they just haven't released it yet because they're releasing it this weekend. So that's probably to me at the very top of the priority list for everyone is to watch the unboxing. I think convention was just a hint of how much, what the direction we're headed in, how much is just a hint of it. And so we're about to, I think they talked about the wait for August 3rd, something like that then. And that actually made me a little nervous. I'm like, what are they doing on August 3rd? Like, I don't like it when they talk about the triplex in a futuristic, because I'm like, don't touch it, leave it alone. And so I was nervous for a few days until they started hinting to us that they were doing something that it was going to be exciting. It is going to be exciting to everyone. So, okay. Couple other things. Let me make sure I'm not missing a question. Okay. In case you are not aware, there's an unofficial code that's being passed around that doesn't work on everyone. Like if they've ever been in our system before, it doesn't seem to work. And I'm not sure why. But it's capital SAM 2020. SAM 2020 seems to be getting people the extra 10% off of their welcome pack. Also, you can take them through through the app and get the code that way as well. An individualized, personalized, whatever you want to say, code. I didn't know that she was going to talk about, I hadn't watched this video yet, so I didn't know she was going to talk about not being the expert. So we were just sort of on a wavelength right there. I think basically jewels and diamonds, everybody, I mean, people that are on the jewels page, people that are on the diamond page, I guess we're all jewels, but it's kind of a topic right now where everybody is sort of starting to realize that we made things too complicated in the beginning. It was the only way, it was the only way to get there in the beginning, and it's not the only way anymore. So really, if you're making things too complicated, if you're making things very complicated and it's working for you, then you should keep doing it. I'm not trying to get anybody off course if something is working for you. But if it's not working for you and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, it may be the complication, because here's the thing, just the thought, you have to always take yourself outside of, before you were part of the Plexus groups and culture and the community, you possibly looked at all the stuff that we talk about and thought, those people might be a little nuts. And it's not until the enthusiasm usually doesn't come until people start using something, either the products or the business, and it starts to work for them. So the overzealous, overexcitement, whatever, probably comes across as insincere and fake, even if it's completely real for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, too much information, too much science. You're not going to believe this. It's so amazing. Because I get these kinds of messages from people that I know are with companies that I have tried their trash. And I think, I mean, also I want to ask something, because something they said in this video made me want to ask. Do any of you frequently, not occasionally, but frequently get someone saying, isn't it a pyramid scheme? I'm just curious. Okay, we got one that says yes. Okay, frequently, you're saying. Once in a while, okay.
Not anymore, Lori.
Okay.
I think since we've all been inundated with the jewelry, the color street, the makeup, the unique, everybody's got a company they're representing. I think a lot of people understand what network marketing is, and they're not all calling it that anymore. At least from my experience.
I would say if you do get that often, there might be something, like literally prayer-wise, that you could break off of you. Perhaps you have said something or thought something in the past that you need to come out of agreement with yourself. Does that make sense? Maybe you don't think that anymore, but maybe you've done that in the past or something like that. Or maybe there also is a possibility that there may be, it could be salesy, and maybe that's what's causing it. But the reason I asked that is because I've not been asked that for a long time, but I wasn't even asked that really in the beginning. Old fogies are the people who would normally ask me that, like people who were around like more my dad's age. Okay. And those people, what song was it, Becky?
It was bizarre. It was just like, fantasy when I'm sailing. What's that also? Sailing takes me away to where I'm always been.
Okay.
Oh God, what is that song? It's an old song. And it
I know
just came really loud, like in stereo in my ears, and I don't even listen to that. What?
We'll have to look up the lyrics to that. Michelle says hers are mostly guys. I was going to say, anybody who's ever said it to me was a guy. And usually they're older than me. And it made me think of a story, because just earlier somebody, I never get asked it, but just like right before the call, actually it was after the call, and I was messaging back and forth with a couple of my level ones who are rank advancing right now or pushing for rank or whatever. And she said, hey, what would you say to this? And it was somebody basically asking about it being a pyramid. And it took me back to something that my dad was part of when I was a kid. I don't remember it. I remember the stories about it. My dad was a used car salesman and everything that implies, everything. And he would get in on all kinds of stuff, And I remember the story about him getting involved in something where everybody brought $100 to, like, they were meeting in somebody's garage, and then you brought that many more people the next week, and then the next week everybody shows up with more people. They weren't exchanging products or buying anything, and by the time they had wrestled my dad into it, it had about worn itself out, and so everybody that he had brought and they brought their $100, it fizzled out after that. And so basically they were like, bring 100, you'll make 400. Well, that's a pyramid scheme. There was no product being exchanged. Nobody was making real money. It was literally, and just a few weeks ago, some family members of mine messaged me, hey girl, have you heard about this thing? And when I say family reunion family, it's not anybody that lives around here. I only see them like once a year, and I mean, I love them, but, and it was the younger ones that were reaching out to me. They've never experienced it before. They've never been swindled on something before. And so they were hurrying. A whole bunch of my younger, like, second cousins were all messaging me, wanting me to get in on this, where it's bring $100, everybody. And I was like, oh my God. So that kind of stuff does circle around still from time to time. I didn't know what to say. I didn't even open the message. I kind of pulled it down and I was like, oh, I don't know what to say to them. I don't want to hurt their feelings, but they're about to get swindled by family and not know it. So there are such things as pyramid schemes, and it's not really usually network marketing companies that are, even though it works in the same principle. It works on the same principle, only without a product. So, okay. All right, hang on. Okay. I'm reading what you said, Becky. It is very mainstream. I think a lot of people are looking for extra streams of income. People are figuring out, especially right now, right? So, okay, let me look at my notes real quick. I like that she said actions are what changed behavior. At the end, it made me think of the saying that said, sort of like the saying that talks about, like, if you look at a room that's a mess, or like a little, usually what happens for me, I have an area back in that part of my house where when we're getting ready for people to show up, everything we don't really know what to do with in that moment gets stuck back there. And now it's basically just a room full of instances like that. And when I look at that, I think, one of these days I'll get motivated and get back there and do that. But I know from experience, that's the one I'm looking at right now. My experiences in the past are knowing that if I started it, that would motivate me. Action comes before motivation. You're never more than likely going to wake up and be like, I just feel motivated to spend my brain figuring out what to do with the crap that we never know what to do with. That doesn't happen like that. You get back there, your brain starts clicking with the action. That's sort of what she was talking about. She was like, actions are what change behavior, not inspirational quotes, not sermons. I think is what she said. Sermons don't really, it's the application of what you learned. You have to begin the application. Shoot, I could write a book on that, because my life is basically an ever evolving version of the application of what I've learned. Because if I had learned, I took a class a few years ago, like an online class, and I was like 3 nights in a row with Randy Clark, and he was teaching healing. And I'm like, you can teach healing? And had I taken that class, and he was doing it at a big auditorium and applying it as you went through the course, he's teaching it by demonstrating it. And had I learned it and never applied it, so many people's lives would be different right now. Like if I'd have just been like, well, I have that knowledge for one of these days when I get motivated. Trust me, my knees were knocking the first time I ever even said, even suggested to someone that maybe it would be a good idea, that they might let me try to something I learned on the internet, right? That seems crazy. But now it's like one of my life and lots of other people's lives. No, don't you start. It's Jetty's Doberman. I could tell she was about to start growling at the squirrels or whatever she sees out there. Don't be the expert. Triplex unboxing. I think, other than there's one other topic that's way more kind of spiritually inclined that I really wanted to talk about. I'm not going to do a whole thing about it, but I just wanted to touch on something. If I were going to do a challenge for humanity right now, not a Plexus challenge, but a challenge for the world right now, I would challenge people to use their phone, like use their phone, and not let their phone entertain them, not let their phone even inform them. If they, like, for example, have a 15-minute window in the morning where they use, like, literally, like I'm saying, make your phone work for you, do what you need to do with it for 15 minutes in the morning, check emails, if that's something that you do, post on Facebook, check Messenger, and then set it down and go do something joyful for the rest of the day. And maybe pick it back up again at noon, do something joyful. I mean, I'm saying follow up or whatever, then go do something joyful. And I believe that based on what I just really believe this is like really in my gut. I believe so strongly that humanity is manifesting all the crap that's going on right now by the fact that we have social media telling us how to feel about everything. How to feel, oh, you should be scared about this. Oh, another thing you should be nervous about is this. And oh my gosh, you should argue with people about this. Right? And if you feel strong, it's interesting how they present us with information that everybody wants to argue about. Like two polarizing sides of every topic. And people are like, you know what? I'm going to argue about that. And if you'd stayed off your phone, you wouldn't even know that argument was going on. And if you had, like, let's say a setup that had, like, I was thinking about this today. If you had like a garden and you had a setup to where you weren't constantly having to go into town, and you stayed off your phone, and you didn't watch the news, I'm going to lump that together with your phone. If you weren't letting talking heads tell you what's going on in the world, you might not know. Like if some of you are going to jobs and stuff, but I'm saying if the world would do that, if the world would step away from the news and if the world would step away from their phones, we might not know that there is anything out there that is supposedly claiming lives when we don't really know what is claiming lives. I'm not going to say there's not something out there, but we don't know what it is. And if you do know what it is, you should message me and tell me what it is. Because if you tell me it's a virus, I'm going to say, well, maybe there is a virus out there. Maybe what's really claiming their lives is maybe a contraindication of some other medicine that they're on when they got exposed to something that makes them cough. Or, I'm just saying, I'm not saying that there's not a virus. I'm just saying, I don't know that the virus in and of itself is actually what's taking people's lives. Now, that being said, I don't mean any offense to anybody who has had family members struggling with it, but I feel like God has really laid it on my heart this week that it's almost like we're at a crossroads with humanity, whether we're going to believe. I'm not talking about just believing media, but I'm talking about believe the fear. If we're going to continue to get wrapped up in the fear, or if we're going to do something joyful and potentially, and I'm going to tell you what, this word that I'm about to use, the word manifest, I use it usually carefully because people get sucked up in the word and they immediately flash back to something that someone said from behind a pulpit one time about the word. And then they are like, no, so-and-so told me don't use that word. It's like the word frequency. They're like, wait a minute. I think I heard something one time. Ask God. Ask God whether the word manifestation, ask God whether he spoke something into existence one time in the very beginning of Genesis. Did he manifest it with his words? Right? He said, let there be light, and then there was. Okay, so the manifestation thing is real. Also, I'll tell you something else that's very real is fear causing anxiety and getting people all wrapped up in the fear. And then it's paralyzing to people. So, I would, if I wasn't literally a network marketer who used my phone to keep the income going, I would have already ditched this because my life is so much more full of joy right now. And I would maybe only use it to chit chat with some of you girls that I chit chat with. But in that instance, we would all be ditching our phones, and we would only be chit chatting about joyful things. You know what I'm saying? Like, the other stuff is fear filled and scary and makes me want to say everybody needs to watch Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland is this whole concept basically where they're manifesting what they see on the screens, because it's almost like it loads into their brain from the screens. Their brain processes it, and it becomes a spiritual thing. And then their spirit regurgitates the actual what they see to be afraid of. And here's what I wrote down before this whole thing started tonight. I believe there are more good people in the world than bad. And therefore, that's what I will see in my life. And if you believe the opposite of that, I 100% believe that it will be true for you the other way around in your life. And if we go off of evidence, and I had a conversation with some of you the other night about evidence. Evidence is based on our senses, like what we saw, what we heard, what we smelled, what we felt, what we tasted. And I'm here to tell you that sometimes our senses lie to us. Sometimes even our memory. I've had instances of this in the past few weeks to where I think, did that really happen? Wait a minute. I've always thought that happened. It's almost like this weird deja vu. So I'm just telling you that I believe with all my heart that we can manifest something that's even a false memory, even to go that deep and to say we have a memory of something that didn't even really go down the way we thought it did. I have had instances recently with a family member where we remember something we both witnessed totally opposite. And when I say totally, I'm saying if I was going to argue with this family member, which I'm not, I know for sure that they're remembering it wrong, I think. Like, when they're saying this to me, it's with as much certainty as me. And I'm like, how is this possible that we were both sitting there looking at it like, and I could tell they don't think that they're not making something up. You know what I mean? So I believe that your memories, your prior experience leading up to that particular instance that you're arguing about, your memories impact what you perceive as going on in that moment. Like, if you've had experiences about the situation in the past, like if you see something going on, that an altercation or something, and you have had prior experience with that same topic before, it's gonna filter through that memory as you watch it. You're going, oh yeah, no, oh shoot, I know what's about to happen because I've seen this before. It's like watching and you're living it through a filter of memories. And the other person may not have that memory, so they're living it through a different filter, or maybe no filter at all. They're just experiencing it. That's what can cause two people's memories of what just happened to be entirely different. And I was about to tell that too. I saw a thing one time where they went onto a college campus, and this was all pre-loaded. Basically, they planned it, and there was someone sitting, like the professor standing at the podium. Somebody runs in, steals her purse, says one thing to her, and runs off. And before someone comes in there to, like, what am I trying to say? Take notes about it, like record the incident, like a police officer come in there and what am I trying to say? What do? They write the report. Before somebody comes into there to write the report, they have someone planted in there who is like, oh, and they jump up and go, oh my gosh. And they imply that the person, oh, what are we going to do? And imply something like that the person had glasses on. And we have to remember the color, or oh my gosh, that reminded me of my sister, but she's wearing glasses, or that reminded me of my brother, but my brother doesn't wear glasses. Something simple like that. And then once they would take the police report, by the way, the person that did it was not wearing glasses, but as they take repeated police report after police report from each person individually, those people remember it that the person had glasses based on one simple insinuation from someone in the room, and they subconsciously or unconsciously eject what they thought they saw, and I don't even think they realize they did it. And so anyway, I think that's very similar to how people filter something through a memory, because they've experienced something similar and their brain starts telling them what's about to happen. I actually know this too, because I will tell you, before I ever went to Hawaii the first time, I'm a very imaginative person, and I imagined what it would look like waking up facing the sunset, or facing the sunrise. I imagined what it would be like using a really fancy bathroom. And sometimes, I'm talking details, what the beach would look like, where the trees would be. I wasn't trying to do this. My brain was just like so flippin' excited. And when I think back of our first experience in Maui, sometimes I have to remind myself that what I'm remembering is not an actual memory, but it was what I thought before I went. Happens to me a lot. And I think it actually happens to lots of people, and they may or may not realize that it happens to them. So depends on if you have a very vivid imagination. Like, we didn't have a room facing the sunrise, but I remember it that way. And that wasn't actual. Lots of times I remember things that I go, once I get there, I go, oh, this is not the way I imagined it. And I'm like, okay. My mom said the other day when I was telling her something like that, she's like, I know. And once you get there, you can't even remember what you did think it was going to be like. And I was like, no, not true for me. Like, for me, it's the opposite. Sometimes I'll have a false memory based on what my brain told me it was going to be like rather than what it was. And I think that's a filter. You filter things through what you thought would happen, or what someone said right after something did happen, or someone's opinion that you admire, and you think, oh yeah, I'm going to filter it through their opinion too, whether it's fact or not. Neural pathways, that's exactly right. So, kind of something I wanted to focus on. We're going to pray really quick, and something I wanted to focus on was the topic of what you believe the future of your business and the future of our world is going to be like. And this might be an ongoing prayer until we've mastered it, because it's something I'm going to be practicing too. Because I can tell you this much. I can read a news report that has dismal view of the future, and therefore I begin filtering things through the dismal view of the future. And I've stopped doing that. I've stopped reading lots and lots of dismal, oh, if this, then that, because the if this part hasn't happened. If this, then that. And I'm like, unplug the screen. That's what they do in Tomorrowland, is they finally say, the young girl, I think, is actually, I watched it so many years ago, I don't remember, but I think the young girl starts realizing everybody's zombie glued to these screens, and they're anticipating demise that's not really real. They're manifesting it. And she like goes through the threshold or whatever and gets to the other side and unplugs the screens, and this dismal future goes away once people quit focusing on a dismal future. So that's another book I should probably write, because I think it's a really fascinating topic, even if I were to go into the topic as a big question mark, like, what do you think? What are your thoughts about this? Because I believe that I think that's what the world needs right now, is some people who can imagine waking up to the sunrise, even though they've not been there yet. Who could imagine having a garden in their backyard, even though they've not. Can imagine a water well in their backyard. These are things I did imagine that we have manifested here. And I've decided, I kind of told God today, I was like, I'm going to use the word manifest. If you tell me not to, I won't. But I believe I have not gotten any real strong indication that I should or shouldn't, unless you send it to me in Messenger in an article and I didn't read it. Because I'm not reading a bunch of articles right now. I'm just telling you, especially if it looks sad or dismal. So yes, It is. People get freaked out. Misty, people get freaked out if they say manifest. Isn't that a word like meditate? Like meditate, the word is also in the Bible. Like, I mean, it depends on what you're saying when you're saying meditate. Like the word in and of itself is in the Bible. So people getting freaked out about words, they've been taught slap on the wrist about a certain word, and it really comes down to the context of what you're saying. So yes, that's right. So here we go. I'm going to pray over us. Those of you who want to agree with me, this is all up to you if this is what you would like to agree with or not. But I'm going to pray that God, we just call on you and your manifest presence tonight. God, we call on the Holy Spirit for your fire to fall on our imagination, the incubator that you have given us. God, you have trusted us with something so powerful, and I believe and I repent for any time I've abused that by looking at things and predicting things that were not part of your plan, God. What on earth? I don't know this one. I'm sitting here making sure it's a whole tone. Just a minute. Here we go. Sounded like one, sort of. I'm just not familiar with it. This is the one I'm in, though. So, God, right now, we just ask that you would be ever present in our thoughts, in our emotions, in our dreams, that you would give us vibrant, life-giving, inspired dreams. God, that you would give us dreams that are a solution rather than a problem. That you would tell us what to declare and decree. God, that you would give us what you see in your mind's eye for the future. Like connected heart to heart, Lord, with your purposes, your plans, your intentions. God, I just lift up so much gratitude tonight for godly wisdom. Like I just thank you in advance for your godly wisdom over how to operate our businesses, and honestly, Lord, just how to be a good human, to how to have great relationships in our lives, how to have more beauty in our lives. God, and just like the peace that passes understanding. The kind of peace that comes from knowing truly that you are the source. God, if there's anybody who's on here tonight or who's listening to this recording who is struggling in an area, I just pray that the person, whoever I'm talking about, would be courageous enough to let go of whatever it is and let you, Lord, handle the circumstance, the issue, the situation, the relationship, the health concern, that we would not put our trust in anything of this earth, but instead that we put our trust fully in you. And God, I pray that every heart connected tonight, like every heart that's connected to this call in whatever way, that you would be readying us for the new wine, the plans that you have. Lord, it's hard for us as humans to understand that time is not linear. But God, I just believe that we're going to begin to understand that more. That it's not something that it's like before and after and I don't understand that. My brain right now doesn't comprehend it, but I'm asking for a supernatural comprehension of what that means and how you see my family, how you see this planet, how you see people that I have even like had a squabbling confrontation with. God, I even have a couple of people that have popped up in my head just by saying that. And God, I just honor them as part of your creation right now, tonight. I just honor them as probably part of a grand scheme of refining for me. I honor the person's role in my life. Even if it seemed painful, even when it seemed painful, even though it seemed, that's what I'm trying to say, even though it felt painful at the time, I honor the fact that they were probably put in my life to teach me something, even though it's a non-traditional way of the way we look at teaching. To help me grow and be more in tune with you, Lord. I mean, I imagine what humanity would be like if everything was all roses and, and how humanity would probably begin to walk away from God as a comforter. I mean, that's kind of what you see going on in certain, you see in certain situations, you see people who seemingly have their life all in order and seemingly don't need God. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying maybe our perception. God, we need you. This planet needs you right now. I have so much compassion for people who are walking in fear because I've been through it. Like I walk through it sometimes, even though I take these big strides to get out of fear, get into gratitude, all these things that I do. And I think, man, as much time as I spend trying to overcome to where I don't go back to that, I have a lot of compassion for people who have never gone through the personal growth stage, and so they may feel stuck in that space. God, I just ask that you would deliver them, truly deliver this world. God, break us free from sin nature, that we would truly be free. I lift all of this up in Jesus' name. Amen. Appreciate you guys hopping on here tonight. If anybody has any questions about anything, make sure you have to register for the unboxing event, and you may have to go into your email and find the registration link, or maybe you may be able to easily find it in your app or back office. In which case, it doesn't matter how you do it. You just need to so that you don't miss out. And I think that's all for tonight. I'm excited about, I'm waiting. I'm excited about you guys and your reaction to what we're going to learn this weekend. So, Jetty, do you know what time it is? The unboxing? That's a good question.
It's 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central.
Okay. On the 3rd, right? I have that right?
Yeah, Monday.
Yeah, so it's gonna. Yeah, keep saying this week. It's Monday that it's happening. I have it
I'm
written
trying
down.
to make sure that my grandbabies are not going to be here because I don't want to miss it.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, okay, it is gonna fall on Monday. I had to pull my calendar out. I've been taking days lately, a day at a time. We've got some events that we're gonna schedule in August. I already know. I have a general idea of the concept there, but I'm not ready to announce it yet. And I don't have a date yet. Part of the date may revolve around everything that is released at the. I keep getting the hiccups. I ate a cucumber right before we started this call. I don't know why that gave me the hiccups. So yeah, so the next event will probably be, honestly, I don't know the answer to that question. I would be surprised if it's not, but I wouldn't bank on that. That's what I'm saying, Linda. And also, Linda, I noticed that I had a message from you from early today that I haven't listened to yet. So I just wanted you to know I'll go listen to it now. Okay, you guys be blessed. Have a great rest of your week. See you guys next Monday. And then I'll see you on our Zoom on Tuesday. Good night. Yes, it is. You're right, Melinda. You've been doing really great, girl. I don't know if she's still on here. Okay.